Hello! I have been playing and I'm really pretty excited with this background that I've got going because everyone is different. And I think it just looks awesome with the Spirited Snowmen stamps. So this was my first little go at this background. I'm hoping you can see the variation and the color transitions. And then when I started to play with it, I thought, wow, if I could get some shimmer metallic in there to make it look even more like snow. So it's so hard for that to pick up on camera, but I've got the shimmer on this paper, and then in this particular background I have the shimmer just where the color is. But I was having so much fun. I did many of these. This one, I did the background and then sprayed the whole thing with shimmer, and it's shimmer that I made with adding the shimmer paint. The frost white is what I used. This is from the holiday catalog. And I put it in mister with 70% isopropyl alcohol. But it looks great over the whole, or again, on most of these I did it as a second step when I made the backgrounds. So tons of cool, and like this one I thought was kind of fun. Again, I don't know if the shimmer is showing up in camera, but it tended to catch more here in the middle, and it's much more obvious in person. And then I must not have sprayed as much, and I was doing that again as a second spray. So all those backgrounds are different and fun, and they really, to me, they look like batik. I love batik fabrics. I think those are really cool, and everyone's different. So I'm going to show you how to do that background today, but I wanted to let everyone know during the month of October I have my hostess code going. But for anyone who does an online order of 50 or more, I'm going to send you a color collection card set for free. So this is all of the card stock that is available through Stampin' Up with the color revamp. So actual card stock. This is not printouts, but that's the actual card stock. And it's something I use quite a bit when I'm getting going on projects, because I can actually take them off the ring if I need to, or just kind of line things up so I can think, wow, you know, do I want to use Blueberry Bushel or Pacific Point? You know, do I want a darker color? Balmy Blue looks great with it. So you can line them up, and I will send that free. Just make sure that you don't check the no contact during the online checkout so I can have your address. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, or you haven't gotten your hands on the holiday catalog, let me know that, and I will send you one of those along as well. I'd love to be your demonstrator and answer any questions or help you out with anything. So, and the best way to reach me is through StArtStudioArt.com, and I also have just a wonderful little Facebook group that's StArt Stampin' Up! Art. So, oh, and I can't forget, super quick, I do have customer rewards tracking. So if you stick with me, you'll get a free stamp set or a free workshop if you're local. And again, all those details are at StArtStudioArt.com. All right, so I'm going to show you this fun little background, how I got there. So I'm using the Swirls and Curls Textured Impressions Embossing folder. And there's tons of lovely ideas online with this. It looks remarkable. But something about it just made me think that it would look really nice for this inking and batik technique. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare, because I need to work a little bit quickly. I'm going to go ahead and prepare the shimmer paint in the alcohol. And I know I could tell you how quick and easy this is to do, but I thought I might as well just show you, because it is just this simple. I just, you know, shook the shimmer paint I'm gonna put a dollop in there. It does not matter how much, because we're putting this in alcohol, that alcohol dries quickly. You do want to shake it before you use it. And I probably avoid putting too much of the shimmer paint in because you do want it to apply pretty evenly, but that alcohol dries fast. So if you don't put enough of the shimmer paint in the alcohol, you just missed it again, and it really doesn't seem to be too much for the paper. I'm only using the standard Whisper White. You could go ahead with the heavyweight Whisper White if you wanted to, but all the examples I already showed you were on standard weight Whisper White paper. So how's that for easy? All right, so when you go to apply the ink to the embossing folder, you do want to use the side that, at least for this look, you want to use the side that the swirls are raised. And in this case, it's the one with the Stampin' Up on the back. The one with the Stampin' Up and Sizzix is the other side of the impression. So just kind of, I'll try to make sure that that's in frame. I guess another way to describe it is it's the smaller side. See how there's a little bit of a wider edge on the other half of the embossing folder. So I try to start with the lightest color ink and work to the darkest, especially because I'm gonna allow a little bit of room for them to mix and kind of carry over. So the Smoky Slate is the first color that I'm using. I'm kind of putting that around the edges. You can do it as you please. You can make a swirl shape, bullseye. You could do it in variations and lines. It really doesn't matter. I'm moving on to the Pool Party. And for some of my ink pads, I've already got these little sections of the sponge made up. I print out the label and give a little like handle, I guess you'd call it, of the cardstock. So a lot of times when these inks dry, they don't really look like the color you're working with. But moving on to my Pool Party, and it would work just as well if you like the thumb daubers. And again, I label those up too, so I can use them over and over. But I'm just gonna apply some of the Pool Party, and this lighter color isn't really easy to see. Let me make sure I stay on screen for you. And it really, you don't have to be worried about it. I think that's one of the things that's really nice about some of these techniques. You can be a little fast and furious. You can have at it. Don't worry. There's so much to worry about in life. Worrying about making things just so when you're being creative is not in this case. So I'm moving on to mint macaron. I always want to say macaroon, but mint macaron, I'm told, is the proper way to say it. And I think I'm going to kind of fill the center with this, and then one more color I might hit it one side to the other. I'm kind of just playing. And the last color that I'm using is Pacific Point, because I did like the fact that the it's kind of a happy bright blue, but it really shows off the shimmer, I think. And I'm gonna like knock out some of these, but yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Now I've tried it a couple different ways, but I think the best thing to do to give yourself a little bit of time to work, gonna make sure that my alcohol and shimmer paint is mixed. I usually do this away from my work area because I don't like to get things too wet, but I do want you to see when I mist, this is just plain water, and I'm misting, and I've learned to go a little more than you think. See how it's starting, like there, it's starting to move and pool a little bit. That seems to be a pretty good way to do things. And then you have the option of going ahead and adding the shimmer now. Just make sure you have your paper ready because the alcohol does dry quicker. So, excuse me, I'm gonna go ahead and add the shimmer. And that, see how that makes the colors move even some more. I need one sheet. And I did cut my background to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That way, after I look at what I've done, I can trim it a little bit to get the, you know, where I think I like the best color, saturation, and pattern. So the other thing I learned, I'm gonna flip this over and take a look. It's looking pretty good. Now if I'm careful, when I pick this up, hold my paper. Oh, I like that. Now if I didn't think I had enough shimmer or enough color, I could add a little more to this, if you want to call it the smaller side of the embossing folder, and put it back down. But wow, I gotta say I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that. That's just, it's beautiful. So sorry for the video split, but I'm fighting this cold that won't let go, and you would not have enjoyed the sneeze. But I was saying the shimmer shows up really nicely in this, and it's because I put the shimmer on the embossing folder, it's not shimmering in the background, which I think looks really nice. I think it really accentuates. You could go the other route and put the shimmer all over everything, not worry about it in the embossing folder, and then just spray the whole paper with shimmer after you're done. But I think I have a little bit of a preference for that. So then with the embossing folder, I just run it under water and dry it real quick before I go to the next background. And then to finish the card, I did a couple little bit different things. I'll just set this aside to dry. The one that I added the shimmer, I did spray this little layer with the shimmer as well. And, you know, again, it's just as simple as shake it up and spray it. I don't want to do that over the card, but and then I thought I'd let you know the dies that I used actually came from the dies that are matched to Lily Pad Lake. So it's Lakeside Framelit dies, and that's both of those that I used for the sentiment. They just fit so perfectly. Of course, you could use different punches. You could do a banner, triple banner punch would be super cute, and a little banner. I just get the biggest kick that this fits this particular die, and again, it's the Lakeside Framelit dies. It fits the little trim, because you know I trim off a little bit when I'm making these mats, and that actually fits that little bit of trim, so it takes it down to almost no waste, which is always cool. And then I put a little bit of silver thread under this one with the dimensionals. I popped both layers up on dimensionals. This one I stamped the background with the cute little couple stamp from Spirited Snowmen, and then I stamped, colored with the blends, and then fussy cut the little snow couple. And I did that in both cards, popped them up on dimensionals. I actually used a X-Acto knife to trim out the middle. Now, I have a friend that if she's watching, Maggie will be cringing. She heard fussy cut. So I thought another really great idea to do with this design, and again, imagine that I've got this cut down to just, you know, use the best of that background, but it'd be super cute to do it with just the layering circles. Maybe add a little bit of a colored background behind there. You know, you can color it with blends, you can color it with the Stampin' Write, you can color it with watercolor. I mean, make it your own, you know, change up the backgrounds, just have fun. Because I tell you, I hope this idea of this shimmer is showing even a little bit, but it's fun and everyone's different. So thanks so much. And again, if you want to get in touch with me, I'm Susan with StArt, studioart.com. And yeah, I'd be happy to hear from you. Thanks a bunch.